In 1985, Moonlighting drove audiences wild with the irresistible chemistry between Bruce Willis and Cybill Shepherd. But 40 years later, the once familiar faces have changed beyond belief. Some still shine, some have left the spotlight forever, and a few you wouldn't even recognize if you saw them today. Where did they go, and how are they living now? Join us as we uncover their real lives and honor the legacies they left behind. Cybill Shepherd, as Maddie Hayes. Cybill Shepherd was born on February 18, 1950, in Memphis, Tennessee. When she was 35 years old, she played Maddie Hayes, a smart, proud, and strong-willed former fashion model who unexpectedly becomes the owner of a detective agency in Moonlighting in 1985. This role turned Cybill into one of the most famous television stars of the 1980s. But beyond the screen, her life was a long journey marked by heartbreak and solitude. Behind the lights, Cybill lived in a world full of emotions and chaos. Her first marriage to David M. Ford began with love, but ended in exhaustion as the pressures of fame pulled her away from family life. In 1987, at the height of Moonlighting, she became pregnant with twins by her second husband, Bruce Oppenheim. Yet happiness soon crumbled when the couple divorced just 3 years later. Lonely, depressed, and drained, Cybill once admitted there were nights she wished she could disappear from Hollywood altogether. The tragedy didn't stop there. In 2002, Cybill was diagnosed with chronic meningitis, a condition that caused her constant pain, severe insomnia, and forced her to limit her activities. She spent years in treatment, gradually stepping away from the spotlight, appearing only occasionally in small television projects. Her once brilliant career dimmed as age and illness forced her to retreat, choosing instead a quiet life surrounded by her children and grandchildren. Today, Cybill Shepherd turns 75. She still lives in California, leading a simple lifestyle and occasionally appearing at interviews or film events. With an estimated net worth of around $40 million, Cybill remains one of Hollywood's proudest symbols of female independence and strength. Robert Webber as Alexander Hayes. Robert Webber was born on October 14, 1924, in Santa Ana, California. When he joined Moonlighting in 1986 at age 62, he played Alexander Hayes, the humorous yet strict father of Maddie Hayes. Though his role was small, it added emotional depth to Maddie's story and highlighted the contrast between her cool demeanor and the warmth of her parents. Robert was the kind of supporting actor who could turn even brief scenes into unforgettable moments, living up to his reputation built over 4 decades in the industry. But behind his steady career lay a personal life filled with turbulence. Robert married Miranda Jones in 1953, but their marriage ended in 1958 due to clashing personalities and lifestyles. After years of solitude, he found peace with his second wife, Del Mertens, in 1972. Their relationship brought him stability, but by the mid-1980s, his health began to fail him. In 1985, Robert was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, a cruel illness that gradually weakens and paralyzes the body, robbing the sufferer of speech. Despite the pain, he continued to act until he could no longer stand. His final performances in Moonlighting and Something Is Out There became a quiet but courageous farewell to his craft. Robert Webber passed away on May 19, 1989, in Malibu, California, at the age of 64. His net worth at the time was around $5 million, earned from decades of work in iconic films such as 12 Angry Men, The Dirty Dozen, Midway, and Private Benjamin. Bruce Willis as David Addison. Bruce Willis was born on March 19, 1955, in Eider, Oberstein, West Germany. When she played David Addison in Moonlighting, 1985, a clever, witty, and charming detective whose chemistry with Cybill Shepherd became legendary, he was just 30 years old. The role catapulted him from obscurity to one of America's most beloved stars. But behind Addison's smile and humor was a man whose life would be filled with both triumph and tragedy. Bruce Willis's life became a collision of love, fame, and heartbreak. In 1987, he married Demi Moore, Hollywood's golden couple of the 1990s. They had 3 daughters and what seemed like a perfect family, but fame slowly eroded their peace. Their marriage ended in 2000, leaving Bruce feeling lonely and defeated. Later, in 2009, he found new happiness with model Emma Hemming and welcomed 2 young daughters, but fate would once again test him with a devastating illness. In 2022, Bruce's family revealed that he had been diagnosed with aphasia, a language disorder, which later progressed into frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative condition that slowly robs him of his ability to speak and understand others. The die-hard hero, who once fought terrorists, now battles his own mind. His family made the difficult decision to move him into a separate home with 24/7 professional care, while his wife and children visit regularly to bring him small moments of joy. Now, Bruce Willis is 70 years old. He may no longer be the indestructible action star, but he stands as a symbol of courage and family devotion. With an estimated net worth of $250 million, his legacy is not only built on blockbusters like Die Hard and The Sixth Sense, but also on the enduring image of a father, husband, and hero who faced his final battle in silence. Charles Rocket as Richard Addison. Charles Rocket was born on August 24, 1949, in Bangor, Maine. When he joined Moonlighting in 1985 at the age of 36, he played Richard Addison, the sharp, intelligent, yet deeply conflicted older brother of David Addison. His character's presence added emotional depth to the series, revealing the family side of the main character and bringing new layers of drama to the show. Rocket left a lasting impression with his witty, slightly satirical performance, perfectly fitting Moonlighting's unique tone. However, behind the humor and charm lay a man burdened with hidden pain. In 1972, he married Beth Clavery, and they had a son named Zane. What seemed like a stable family life gradually unraveled as Rocket struggled with psychological turmoil. After being fired from Saturday Night Live due to an on-air profanity scandal, his reputation plummeted. He fell into a deep depression, losing faith in his career and feeling isolated within the harsh entertainment industry. Though he continued acting in films such as Dumb and Dumber and Moonlighting, Rocket carried a sense of emptiness and insecurity. Family tension, career disappointment, and mental health struggles pushed him further into despair. No one could have imagined that the man who once made audiences laugh so effortlessly was fighting a silent and devastating inner battle. On October 7, 2005, Charles Rocket was found dead at his Connecticut farmhouse, his throat slit. Police determined his death was a suicide. He was 56 years old. His passing shocked Hollywood, especially those who had worked closely with him. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at around $3 million, mostly earned from his memorable supporting roles in Dumb and Dumber, Moonlighting, and Saturday Night Live. Jack Blessing as McGillicuddy. Jack Blessing was born on July 29, 1951, in Baltimore, Maryland. When he joined Moonlighting in 1986 at the age of 35, he portrayed McGillicuddy, an employee at the Blue Moon Detective Agency who brought humor and warmth to the tension-filled show. His small but distinctive role showcased his intelligence, loyalty, and gentle wit, adding a sense of everyday realism and heart to the series. Off-screen, Jack was a devoted family man. He married Laura Staley in 1987, and together they had 2 sons, Ian and Clint. Their life was peaceful until fate intervened. In the early 2000s, Jack was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer, one of the most aggressive and deadly forms of the disease. He kept his illness private for a long time, continuing to work and maintaining a cheerful spirit to spare his family the pain of worry. But the disease advanced quickly, leaving him increasingly frail. Despite undergoing painful rounds of chemotherapy, Jack remained optimistic, smiling through the suffering and leaving heartfelt messages for his loved ones and colleagues. "I've had a full life," In his final years, he spent most of his time at home in California with his family, saying, "Every day I can still breathe is a gift." Jack Blessing passed away on November 14th, 2017, in Chatsworth, California, at the age of 66. He left behind his wife, 2 sons, and countless fond memories among friends and colleagues. His net worth was estimated at around $2 million, mostly from roles in Moonlighting, George Lopez, and The Naked Truth. Allyce Beasley as Agnes DePesto. Allyce Beasley was born on July 6, 1954, in Brooklyn, New York. When she joined Moonlighting in 1985 at the age of 31, she played Agnes DePesto, the quirky, poetic, loyal, and kind-hearted secretary. Agnes was the humorous and emotional soul of the Blue Moon Detective Agency, adored by audiences for her sincerity and unforgettable eccentric charm. The role made Allyce one of television's golden icons of the 1980s. But behind the smile and sweet voice lay a life full of challenges. Allyce married for the first time in 1970, at just 16 years old, to photographer Christopher Sansosier. The marriage ended 2 years later due to youth and immaturity. By 1985, as her career was blossoming, she married actor Vincent Schiavelli, and they had a son named Andrea. However, that marriage also ended in 1988 because of career pressures and creative conflicts. The breakup left her battling depression and raising her son alone amid the temptations of Hollywood. In 2009, another shock struck when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. After undergoing a mastectomy and chemotherapy, Allyce's body grew weaker, but her spirit became stronger than ever. She overcame the illness and became a passionate spokesperson for breast cancer awareness campaigns. The disease that had nearly taken her life became the very source of inspiration that led her to help others. Today, Allyce Beasley is 71 years old. She lives peacefully with her third husband, writer Jim Bosch, whom she married in 1999. Though she rarely appears on television now, she continues to do voice work and participate in small Disney projects. With a net worth of about $3 million, Allyce lives simply, without extravagance, and is forever remembered as the woman who spoke in rhyme. Paul Sorvino as David Addison Sr. Paul Sorvino was born on April 13, 1939, in Brooklyn, New York. When he joined Moonlighting in 1986 at the age of 47, he played David Addison Sr., the charming, humorous, and slightly mischievous father of David. With his calm demeanor and deep, resonant voice, Sorvino portrayed a man full of warmth and wisdom, one who loved his son, but wasn't afraid to teach life's toughest lessons. His presence added depth to Moonlighting, blending family emotion with the show's signature humor. Off-screen, Paul Sorvino's life was as colorful as it was turbulent. He married Lorraine Davis in 1966, and together they had 3 children, including Academy Award-winning actress Mira Sorvino. However, fame and career pressures strained their marriage, which ended in divorce in 1988. Sorvino married again in 1991 to Vanessa Arrico, but that union also ended in 1996. It wasn't until 2014 that he finally found peace with his third wife, Dee Dee Benke, who remained by his side until the end of his life. Despite his tough on-screen image, Sorvino was a deeply emotional father, once even pulling a gun to protect his daughter from a stalker, proving his fierce devotion to family. In his later years, Sorvino struggled with various health issues, including type 2 diabetes and heart disease, which gradually weakened him. Yet he never lost his passion for the arts. He wrote poetry, sculpted bronze statues, sang opera, and even launched his own brand of pasta sauce, Paul Sorvino Foods. "I'm not just the gangster from Goodfellas," he once said. "I'm an artist, a father, a family man." Paul Sorvino passed away peacefully on July 25, 2022, in Florida, at the age of 83 from natural causes. He left behind his wife, 3 children, and a vast artistic legacy. His net worth was estimated at around $10 million, earned from Goodfellas, Law and Order, Moonlighting, and numerous personal projects. Curtis Armstrong as Herbert Viola. Curtis Armstrong was born on November 27, 1953, in Detroit, Michigan. When he joined Moonlighting in 1986 at age 33, he played Herbert Viola, a clumsy yet sincere temporary employee who gradually became a loyal supporting detective and brought a balance of humor to the show. The role of Herbert helped Curtis move beyond his booger image from Revenge of the Nerds and prove that he was more than just a comic actor. He had depth. Off-screen, Curtis's life was as turbulent as his characters. His first marriage to Cynthia Carl in 1980 ended quickly, due to the stress of a rising career and the bohemian lifestyle of the entertainment world. In 1994, he married screenwriter Elaine Aronson, and they had a daughter, Lily. However, this marriage also faced turmoil when Curtis fell into alcoholism, forcing him to take a break from acting. His career seemed to collapse as his health and reputation declined, but the love of his family ultimately brought him back. After years of therapy and successfully overcoming his addiction in 2010, Curtis began writing his memoirs and became an advocate for addiction recovery. He admitted that those painful years helped him rediscover his true worth, not as a funny star, but as a father and a man who learned to stand tall after falling. Now, Curtis Armstrong is 72 years old. He continues to appear in small roles, attend fan conventions, and write about the acting profession. With a net worth of around $8 million, Curtis lives a modest life with his wife and daughter in California. Eva Marie Saint as Virginia Hayes. Eva Marie Saint was born on July 4, 1924, in Newark, New Jersey. When she joined Moonlighting in 1986, at the age of 62, she portrayed Virginia Hayes, the elegant, graceful, and loving mother of Maddie Hayes. With her gentle, sophisticated, and emotionally layered performance, Eva brought warmth and depth to the show, allowing viewers to understand more about Maddie's roots. Though a small role, it was a subtle and powerful reminder of the enduring talent of an Oscar-winning actress from Hollywood's golden age. Off-screen, Eva Marie Saint's life was a long journey of love and loss. She married director Jeffrey Hayden in 1951, and their marriage lasted an extraordinary 65 years, a rare feat in Hollywood. They had 2 children, Daryl and Lorette, and 4 grandchildren. But in 2016, Jeffrey passed away from heart disease, leaving Eva alone at the age of 92. His passing devastated her deeply, yet gratitude and the cherished memory of their lifelong love helped her endure the loneliness. In the years that followed, Eva faced the challenges of aging and illness. She suffered from osteoporosis and declining eyesight, which made it difficult for her to walk and read scripts. Still, Eva never stopped loving the arts. She continued attending tribute events, speaking with film students, and was celebrated as the last woman of Hollywood's golden era. Today, Eva Marie Saint is 101 years old, a living symbol of classic cinema. She resides in Los Angeles, where she and her late husband once nurtured generations of young actors. Her net worth is estimated at around $20 million, largely from legendary works such as On the Waterfront, for which she won an Oscar, North by Northwest, and her later guest appearances over the decades. Richard Belzer as Leonard. Richard Belzer was born on August 4, 1944, in Bridgeport, Connecticut. When he appeared on Moonlighting in 1985 at age 41, he played Leonard, a guest character with a trademark sarcasm and effortlessly cool demeanor, perfectly reflecting Belzer's sharp, dark comedic style. Though a minor role, his witty, intelligent, and nonchalant presence made him unforgettable, embodying the dry humor that defined his career. Off-screen, Belzer's life was marked by both triumph and tragedy. He married 3 times, first to Gail Susan Ross in 1966, then to Dahlia Danock in 1976, both marriages ending due to his fiercely independent nature and bohemian lifestyle. It wasn't until 1985 that he found lasting love with actress Harley McBride, who remained his partner for nearly 4 decades. The two had no children, but shared a quiet, devoted life together in France, far from Hollywood's chaos. Before finding that peace, Belzer had faced serious battles, including testicular cancer in 1983, which he overcame with humor and resilience. He once joked, "That illness woke me up," later sharing the experience in his one-man show, Another Lone Nut. Yet, despite surviving cancer, Belzer carried lifelong emotional scars. Both his father and brother died by suicide, leaving deep wounds he could never fully heal. Richard Belzer passed away on February 19, 2023, at his home in Bozouls, France, at the age of 78. The cause was complications related to respiratory and circulatory problems. He died peacefully in his sleep, beside his beloved wife. His net worth was estimated at around $16 million, primarily from his long-running role in Law & Order, SVU, and other television projects. Mark Harmon as Sam Crawford. Mark Harmon was born on September 2, 1951, in Burbank, California. When he joined Moonlighting in 1987 at the age of 36, he played Sam Crawford, the handsome, successful rival of David Addison and the former love of Maddie Hayes. His arrival created a tense love triangle that captivated audiences, who fell for Harmon's calm demeanor, sophistication, and deep, soulful gaze. Off-screen, Mark Harmon has always been the opposite of the charming playboys he often portrayed. The son of football legend Tom Harmon and actress Elise Knox, he grew up surrounded by Hollywood fame but chose a quiet, disciplined life. In 1987, the same year he appeared on Moonlighting, he married actress Pam Dauber, who has remained his devoted partner for nearly 4 decades. Together they have 2 sons, Sean and Ty, and have always maintained a private family life away from the spotlight. Though their marriage has been strong, Harmon's intense filming schedule for NCIS at times put pressure on the family, yet they've always managed to maintain mutual respect and deep trust. Harmon is not only a dedicated actor but also a real-life hero. In 1996, he saved 2 teenage boys trapped in a burning car outside his home, pulling them to safety with his bare hands. He has always upheld an image of integrity. No scandals, no excess, no ego, a rare example in Hollywood. His life philosophy remains simple. Do your job well, love your family, and keep your dignity. Now, Mark Harmon is 74 years old. Though he has stepped away from his starring role on NCIS, he continues to serve as the show's executive producer, shaping its legacy for the next generation. With an estimated net worth of $120 million, Harmon remains one of the highest-paid and most respected television actors of all time. Virginia Madsen as Lorraine Ann Charnock. Virginia Madsen was born on September 11, 1961, in Chicago, Illinois. When she appeared on Moonlighting in 1989 at age 28, she played Lorraine Ann Charnock, Maddie Hayes' cousin, a sharp, witty, and emotionally complex woman. Lorraine's arrival brought new energy to the series' later episodes, and Virginia's performance hinted at the emotional depth that would later define her acclaimed work in Sideways, 2004. However, Virginia's personal life was far from easy. She married director Danny Huston in 1989, the same year she appeared on Moonlighting, but their marriage ended in 1992 due to personality clashes and career pressures. After the divorce, Virginia raised her son Jack alone, enduring years of loneliness and emotional turmoil. Those hardships later became the raw emotional foundation of her most powerful performances. In terms of health, Virginia was diagnosed with glaucoma, a condition that affects vision and requires ongoing treatment. Despite this, she continued to act, viewing cinema as a kind of therapy that helped her overcome life's difficulties. Her resilience and strength turned her into a symbol of independence, a woman who faced pain and illness with dignity and perseverance. Today, Virginia Madsen is 64 years old. She continues to work steadily in both television and independent film, while also advocating for eye health awareness and gender equality. With an estimated net worth of $8 million, she now lives happily with her husband, actor Nick Holmes, who is 20 years her junior, in a relationship that has endured and thrived after many storms. Nicholas Pryor as Dr. Simon Brill. Nicholas Pryor was born on January 28, 1935, in Baltimore, Maryland. When he joined Moonlighting in 1989 at the age of 54, he played Dr. Simon Brill, a calm, intelligent, and slightly mysterious doctor whose presence added depth to the final episodes of the series. Although a guest role, Pryor's measured performance, warm voice, and dignified screen presence made a lasting impression on audiences. Off-screen, Pryor's life was filled with both achievements and challenges. He married actress Julie Payne in 1958, and they had a daughter named Stacy. However, the marriage ended due to the growing strain of his rising career. Afterward, he led a quiet life, focusing on acting and avoiding Hollywood's noise and chaos. It wasn't until July 1993 that he found lasting happiness with actress Christine Belford, who remained by his side for the final 3 decades of his life. In his later years, Pryor faced a battle with terminal cancer. Despite the pain, he maintained his humility and optimism, continuing to write, teach acting, and even prepare a farewell letter to the Hollywood Reporter to be published after his death. In it, he wrote, "Nicholas Pryor is deeply grateful to have been able to act for nearly 70 years. It was a simple and graceful goodbye, perfectly in character for the man he was." Nicholas Pryor passed away on October 7, 2024, at his home in Wilmington, North Carolina, at the age of 89. He died peacefully, surrounded by his wife and daughter, leaving behind a career that spanned nearly 7 decades and a net worth of about $5 million, primarily from his work in Airplane, Risky Business, and Moonlighting. Dana Delany as Gillian Armstrong. Dana Delany was born on March 13, 1956, in New York, USA. When she appeared on Moonlighting in 1985 at the age of 29, she played Gillian Armstrong, a charming, intelligent, and mysteriously melancholic guest character. Though her appearance was brief, Gillian left a memorable impression with her elegance and quiet allure. The role opened the door for Dana's later success in major projects, such as China Beach and Desperate Housewives. Off-screen, Dana's life was not as smooth as her career. She has never married, despite having experienced several relationships marked by heartbreak and emotional wounds. In interviews, Dana admitted she once feared commitment and the loss of personal freedom. It wasn't until she reached 50 that she finally felt ready to love for real. Yet love never came. Alone in a glittering world, she learned to find happiness in work, friendship, and silence. Her strength and honesty have made her a symbol of independence, a woman brave enough to live on her own terms. Dana's life also carried physical scars. In 2003, she tried Botox and suffered a mishap when the needle struck a nerve, causing permanent drooping of her right eyelid. Instead of hiding it, Dana spoke openly about the incident, calling it a lesson in not needing to be perfect. From then on, she rejected all cosmetic procedures, choosing instead to live naturally and healthily. She maintains a vegetarian diet, practices yoga and meditation, and devotes much of her time to charity, especially supporting women and children. In 2025, Dana Delany is 69 years old. She continues to appear regularly on television and in independent projects while remaining an active figure in Los Angeles's charity scene. With an estimated net worth of around $10 million, she leads a simple, grounded life. As she once said, "I don't need a man to feel complete. I just need to feel alive." 40 years later, Moonlighting remains a shining symbol of television's golden age. Yet looking back at its stars today, we can't help but feel both moved and amazed by how time has transformed them. Do you still recognize them after all these years? Share your memories in the comments And don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss our next Then and Now story.